Darwin was not lucky enough to be in Hawaii, but he visited the Galapagos Islands. Galapagos is the Spanish word for tortoise, these huge land turtles which weigh as adults 300 pounds and more, which he found that they were diversifying each island because they were isolated as a consequence of natural selection adapting them to the local conditions, to the extent that the Spanish sailors could tell Darwin from which island a particular tortoise came just by looking at it. And then Darwin studied the evolution there of other organisms, particularly finches. There is only one species in western South America. The Galapagos are about 600 miles away from South America. And here you have all these species, from very tiny ones to very large ones with different kinds of beaks. So now let me use the last minute that I think I have to consider a little bit the argument of irreducible complexity presented, for example, by Behe. Unless you have all the parts of the eye, or all the parts of the bacterial flagellum, or all the parts of the blood clotting system, it doesn't function. So he says natural selection cannot work because you have all the parts at the same time. Well, for all the examples that he gave in his previous book has been shown in detail how the evolution occurred, and I'm going to show you with respect to the eye. He says that unless, as Paley said that before natural selection was known, before Darwin, Behe knows about natural selection. That's why he says it cannot happen a little, but one step at a time. This is the eye of mollusk known as a limpet. We don't need to study fossils to know the evolution of the eye. We can look at living mollusks because they are a very diversified group of organisms for which or some of which the environment has not changed. So they don't need to evolve. These are a small mollusk about the size of my big finger, my thumb nail, which are conical, and they live in the intertidal, and all what they need is to know whether there is light or not. Because if there is light, the tide is down, and then they can go around grazing. If it is dark, the tide is in, and they attach themselves. You can try to grab them, you cannot move them, because they don't want to be moved by the tide, because otherwise they will die. Well, here you have another mollusk, which not only can see whether there is light or not, but also can detect movement. Then you have another one with a little more complicated retina, a little more complicated nervous system, kind of an opening, so you can see the direction of light as well as movement. And then you have another one, and another one, finally the octopus or the squid, which are also mollusks, which have an eye like ours, a camera eye as complex as ours, but they don't have a defect that we do. You remember we have a blind spot because the optical nerve has to cross the retina to go to the brain. They don't have to do that because the nerve forms outside. So if I were to be a defender of intelligent design, I would have to argue that somehow God loves octopuses and squids more than he loves humans, which I don't find it very comfortable.